In today's Ask episode, we're going to be looking at menstrual dysmorphic disorder. Hi everyone, Evette Rose here. Guys, I'm really looking forward to today's topic. And also for those of you who don't know me, my name is Evette Rose and I'm the author of Metaphysical Anatomy, which is a big book of 679 medical ailments. And that is the Psychosomatic stress for adults. And yes, we have one for children too. So I'm so excited. It was just recently launched. I'm really looking forward to that. Now, also, guys, I have free weekly masterclasses where I teach you and help you to deal with, daily life challenges and also how to break through barriers with ease and with grace. And it's absolutely free. You can register at evetterose.com. I also love and have my intuitive body workshop, which is specifically just going to show you how to read the body like a book, and it's based on my wonderful research. And then also we have the intuitive spirit guide workshop. We're going to be teaching you, showing you how to connect with your guides, how to work with them, heal with them, how to transform your life and other people's life, and work with animals and heal animals as well. And also kind of like develop your own little healing modality there on the side track as well. Then we also have the MAT level 1 healing technique, which is a trauma release technique that's also behind this big book and the session and the techniques behind that. So there's so many great things happening and we always have wonderful specials and deals coming up. So guys, also remember, if you bring 2 friends, you can come for free. So let's dive into today's topic, because this is quite an interesting question that was asked. So the question was, could you do a video about PMDT, which is premenstrual dysmorphic disorder? And a lot of women suffer with it, but hardly any research is done on it. And it's basically the way that your brain is reacting to your hormones right before your period. So let's see what is happening. So guys, first of all, this premenstrual syndrome and also PMS, because these two are kind of like quite closely related. Now, this refers to changes like, for example, in the mood, emotions, physical health, and also behavior. Now, this can sometimes, for example, develop between ovulation and also the start of your period, which is roughly 2 weeks before your period. And this can also actually last until a few days also after a period actually begins. And this can show up consistently every month. Now, also there can be some impact on everyday life, regular activities. Now, most experts also believe that this condition happens in response to changing levels of the hormones and estrogen and progesterone. Now, these hormones actually naturally fluctuate throughout our menstrual cycles. But during this luteal phase, which is now follows ovulation, hormones actually reaches a peak and then it declines rapidly, which actually can now then lead to anxiety, irritability, and also other changes in mood. Now, this condition can also cause a lot of bloating, it can cause headaches, it can cause breast tenderness, and also, for example, a week or 2 before even your period, you can have all these symptoms as well. Now, one thing also that I've come to see and learn is that a lot of people are a lot more prone to PMDD if they have anxiety or depression. And also, of course, if they have a family history of this condition as well. Now, the fact that people who are more prone to this actually struggle with already anxiety and depression means that this condition is just exasperating the existing condition that they already have. So, if you have this condition, meaning the PMDD, and you find that your anxiety and your depression just skyrockets during this condition, please note that yes, absolutely is valid to look at this condition as well. But remember that if you want to look at the psychosomatics and the stress of actually addressing this, now we need to actually look at the actual root causes and the psychosomatics of anxiety and depression first, because PMDD is only a secondary problem to it, meaning it exasperates it. It highlights an existing problem that you now already have. But what's also really interesting is that this condition can actually perhaps even show you where the biggest pain points and the wounds can be in relationship to your anxiety and also to your depression. Because PMDD is, of course, very much connected to estrogen, is very much connected to our female hormonal system, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and that's directly connected to our ovaries. It's directly connected to the cycles that we have as a woman as well. That also means that it connects to our intuition, our spirituality. There's so many aspects and things that's now beautifully coming together here. But sometimes when there's trauma associated with these different points, this trauma, where the conscious or subconscious can be blown up and exasperated during these moments of heightened states of emotion, and also when there's such rapid hormonal changes, especially when there's a sudden drop. And the reason, of course, why when there's a sudden drop, because the difference in relationship to the shift in the moods that's felt is so drastic that it can actually cause a slight little crisis, and hence the emotional, meltdowns. Maybe it's crying, maybe it's stress, maybe it's anger outburst. The list can go on. Now, another thing that I've come to learn in relationship to this condition as well is when there's a lot of trauma associated with sexuality and femininity. Just so that you know, any trauma or stress associated with a woman's sexuality is stored in health in the uterus, the ovaries, and the womb. If any of you are a mom, when you were pregnant and as your womb was expanding, you might have felt a lot of childhood flashbacks, boom, suddenly coming forward. And if you had sexual abuse trauma, you might have felt deeply confronted with it, especially during that time of pregnancy, because as the womb also stretches, as all the lady bits, everything is now moving, everything is now being almost like, touched, is now being stretched. It's releasing those memories. Now, what also happens, especially now during this condition as well, during PMDD, what happens is when these hormones are fluctuating, everything is now taking place. There's also swelling, there's also tenderness. And so what happens when there's that slight swelling, also memories are being released. And now these memories are being released is normally suppressed anger in relationship to femininity, anger of maybe perhaps feeling suppressed as a woman, anger as a relationship to not having or not allowed to feel that you're allowed to have boundaries or expressing yourself a certain way, to have certain rights, to be treated with certain levels of dignity. A lot of ancestral trauma for women, female ancestors, and how they were treated tend to also be stored and held in this area as well. And women also tend to store, deeply hold and store and record their mother's stress in relationship to her femininity and sexuality while she was pregnant with you, right? So while your reproductive area was now being developed, there's a massive overlap there. And I talk a lot about this, especially in my MAT level 2 course. We spent an entire day on womb trauma and overlap and what we actually take on from mom during certain developmental stages as well, and the impact that it can have on your health and your psychological health as well. So this is also a few things to also just take note of. So guys, there you have it. I hope that this helps. And until next time, be the light that you are. Thank you guys for joining me here. And also remember to subscribe to our math membership website. You can check out so much more. There's so many free healing courses there as well. Go to evetterose.com, see all the free masterclasses and events that we have coming up. There's always something happening on our platform. And we love to hear from you for the Ask Event episodes, also for the psychosomatic patterns that you would love for us to talk about, especially when it comes to these books, the research that's in it. And there's so much to be learned and so much to be shared as well. So I love your questions. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what you would love me to address as well. Life challenges, it's endless. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember to subscribe so that you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest videos that's coming out just for you. Until next time, be the light that you are.